Welcome to Ageless by Rescu. This podcast is devoted to exploring the science of rejuvenation, uncovering the most trusted experts, the must-have products, innovations, and technology in the field of vitality, aesthetics, new beauty, and cosmetic enhancement. So this was meant to be a solo episode, but my beautiful friend, Paula Joye, very kindly and graciously suggested that she hosts this episode of Ageless by Rescu, our anniversary episode, 1 year in, and I could not be more delighted and honored to have the magnificent Paula Joye interviewing me for my own podcast.
Oh, well, I think you need to be interviewed, number one, because when it comes to ageless, you define it. There's actually a picture of you next to the word ageless in the dictionary. And I've known you for forever. I ask you advice sincerely offline all the time. And we were talking and I just said, Bahar, you need to be on your own podcast. So I am just congratulations on the pivot that you made in your career, where you've just always never been afraid of new challenges and new steps. So congratulations on creating something that women really needed and really love to come to. The first year is the hardest year. So I look forward to all the new chapters.
Well, I was actually really inspired by you, and I think we've had this conversation before, because what I'd done before with Rescu is I never turned up in Rescu. I was always behind the scenes, and I watched what you were doing, and it was, you'd been an editor all your life, so you were the conductor of an orchestra, and then you stepped into this brave new world of digital, but really face first. And I remember asking you, and this was about 8 years ago, we had this conversation. I don't know if you remember. And I said, gosh, how do you do it where you turn up and it's about you and you share your very intimate stories and experiences? And you said to me, that's what they want. That's what feels true. It's what I've always done. And I went, oh, I'm not brave enough to do that.
Time. I think that's very true. It is true. That is what people want. People are craving connections. And because digital or podcasts just this new space is a real-time conversation, of course you don't want to have an inauthentic conversation. So when you sort of think about it on paper, it makes total sense, but it takes a lot of time to really find where your truth is in the conversation, because you can't be truthful in every conversation in your life. It just doesn't work that way. So finding out where you can be yourself in every conversation is a real art form. And I think that's why this has been successful, because as I said, you are the poster woman for ageless.
Well, as we will get down to, I do everything. But I think the most important thing that I've learned about this from the people that I've interviewed, actually, not just the experts and the scientists and the people who are actually on the cutting edge of taking us on a longevity and health span journey, but the celebrities and the genetically blessed, let's call them.
Yeah.
The thing that makes the difference between beautiful and ageless is a spirit. And you and I have met so many people, you certainly more than me. But, you speak to someone like Trini Woodall, and that energy, that spirit, that is ageless. And then you can speak to, and I've met someone like Hailey Bieber, for example. And to me, that felt like a youthful energy, a very young energy. It didn't feel like an eternal energy. And strangely enough, and I know that I'm going to get slammed for saying this, to me, she didn't fill a room.
Mm-hmm. I think that makes sense, because also the other flip side of that is that wisdom's sexy. Experience is sexy.
That fills a room.
It fills a room. It's confidence. It's all those things that, require some wrinkles and some laugh lines, which I think do fill a room. So that makes perfect sense to me. Yeah. So I think probably a lot of your audience who came with you from Rescu and even from beauty editing days and your print days, what made you decide to change and to launch Ageless?
I was bored. I was bored with what I was doing. I was bored with myself. And I have this habit of writing full business plans for anything I want to do. I wrote a book 7 years ago called Rescue Me, the Makeover Guide for a Life More Fabulous, which I was lucky enough to be published by HarperCollins, Harlequin Division. And I was giving a talk at a Future of Digital conference, and there was an editor in the audience, and she came up to me and she said, "Do you have a book in you?" And I said, "Not only do I have a book, I have the manuscript. It's ready. We just need to shoot it." So with
That's
Ageless,
so you, by the
yeah,
way.
it's so me. It's
That is
actually so
so
me.
you. You were like that. You are prepared,
I am
girl.
prepared.
Like anything, you were like, yep, I've got that in a drawer. Yep, it's a very commendable thing. You are a rainy day. You are the next season. You're a Girl Scout.
Well, you know what? When opportunities come, you want to be able to jump through it rather than, have the self-doubt moment or life get in the way. And sometimes, I don't know about you, but inspiration like kind of will channel through you. And you could be on a resort, or you could be at home, or you can be in lockdown. And when that inspiration comes, it's really nice to bottle it, because it's like other creative people. When I don't consider myself a creative person, but I've definitely had those moments of actual enlightenment where I've felt ideas or solutions like really come in. So I got into the habit of documenting it and working around it. And, my background is business. I was GM for two Estee Lauder brands, Bobby and Origins. I launched Bobby in Australia, and Origins I joined 3 months after we launched the brand. And before that, I was at Gucci. I was a 24-year-old general manager of Gucci timepieces. So my background is business. So I treat everything in that kind of format. So anyway, I wrote the book, and with Ageless, I had the concept while I had Rescu. And what I wanted to do was to have just a once a year spin-off special issue, a digital magazine that would be about aesthetics, cellular wellness, biohacking, surgery, new beauty. Mm-hmm. And then when COVID happened, I was so bored, and I realized, everyone says they're going to do that maybe one day, but it was time to put up or shut up, and I wasn't really doing much else, was I? So I decided to just go for it, and I just went for it. And we launched the first magazine and the podcast all remote. There was not one person who was in the room at the same time as me. And I've recorded all 90 episodes in my living room. I have my audio engineer and my video editor for the magazine. I have a art director, writers, digital designer. Everyone is like outside of the house.
That's probably what made it successful. And I think that that's also just the more modern way to work now. I think that we've learned that, the more traditional, sitting at somewhere like Gucci, where it was layers and layers and layers and layers of corporate, it's not necessarily more efficient. It's just different. And I think that
you're ex-Vogue and, ACP, and you were the queen of those in those titles, and the budgets that do you laugh sometimes when you're creating content and you go, 20 years ago I would have had a team of 40 and 2 supermodels doing what I'm doing by myself now.
Totally. And with me, I'm doing it all on my own, but literally occasionally dragging someone in, like my husband. But yes, we had the best of days, but these are also the best of days. There's something about being on the coalface of creativity that I think is very inspiring. Yes, but it's more than that. I think it keeps you young.
It does. And I think innovation, like if you're talking about, agelessness, all of the research, the first place you really want to start is with neuroplasticity, and nothing is as rejuvenating as challenging your mind, doing things that you've never done before. It makes you, it actually literally renews your brain cells. It rewires your mind. It fires up endorphins. It makes you look better. It makes you think better. So for me, that ageless journey started with challenging myself mentally. And then, of course, when you start reading and researching and meeting all these experts and scientists and professors who are, on this regenerative medicine or regenerative wellness practices, you want to try all of these things for yourself. And so I became my own human experiment, and I really doubled down on all of the resources, both natural and medical, scientific and experimental. I've really tried it all of it.
Now, Bahar, there was a real like watershed moment for you when you were just going along in this busy, hectic life, mothering, killing the game, and then one day you fell asleep during a lunch and changed everything.
Yeah. So thank God for good friends. So I was going through a massive, time in my life, personal, professional, and, like you, I'm ambitious for myself, I'm ambitious for my daughter, but I also want to suck the marrow out of life. So I do everything, and I do everything at full tilt. And I was at lunch. It was at Chiswick at the art gallery. We were meeting a friend's new baby, and I fell asleep at lunch. And it was because I had adrenal exhaustion, and everyone had been a little bit worried about me for some time.
Well, fair enough.
It wasn't great. It wasn't my best moment.
Falling asleep at lunch is no joke.
Yeah, it was pretty hectic. But so my friends actually staged an intervention, and they said, we are worried about you. You live life on the front seat. We know you like that, but something's not right. And you shouldn't be falling asleep at lunch when you're meeting a baby. And it was true. So a few people like, we're worried, what are you doing? Da, da, da. But one friend quietly pulled me aside and said, have you ever had your hormones checked? And I went, no. And she said, I think I had something similar to you, and I think you should go and get your hormones checked. So that's where it all started.
Fair enough. It's narcolepsy. Yeah.
It was terrible. And I was asleep. But it was complete adrenal exhaustion. I had just reached the end of my ability to function as I was. And so one of my friends pulled me aside and said, actually, I think it's your hormones. You should get your hormones tested. So I went and saw a doctor, Dr. Alia Nasser at the clinic in Woollahra, by the recommendation of my cosmetic physician, Dr. Joseph Hakee. He said, yes, darling, before we do anything to your face, this is a great idea. Go and see Dr. Nasser. So I did. I had blood works. And so I came back, and she said, well, at least menopause is behind you. And I went, what?
Oh my goodness.
And she goes, when did you have your last period? And I said, I don't know. A few months ago, maybe, I don't know, maybe a year. And she goes, well, your blood markers say that you had your menopause 2 years ago.
Were you just floored?
I was so floored, because I could have done something to mitigate some of, the enormous amount of stress, and, I could have had some support for how I was feeling. And so, I would have survived that really traumatic experience differently. If I had a healthy body and nervous system. But anyway, so that was the beginning. And the first thing that she did is that she asked me if I wanted to do HRT, which I didn't. And I felt, well, I've gone through it. I don't really need it. But she prescribed DHEA, which is a hormone, and it's a sex hormone, actually. And it's naturally occurring in the body, but it drops off. So that's got estrogen, progesterone, testosterone, antioxidants. And she said that was going to really help with my sleep, with my mood, with my energy. So DHEA also helps convert your energy. And then she also recommended that I try metformin, which is a diabetic's medication, but it's considered the only well-researched anti-aging medication in the world. And it's got 30 years of history, very low side effects. It actually boosts your collagen production. If a lot of people who are on IVF, men and women, will get put on metformin because it rejuvenates your cells. And so I started taking metformin, and it also stabilizes your blood sugar. And
Is that what the Kardashians are on for weight loss?
No, they're on HCG. That's another hormone that you can inject, which I have tried before, and it's pretty good.
But you
And
can't get it here, can you? It's not. I don't think
you
it's
can get
legal
it here.
here. Oh, you can.
You can get it here. Because it's not a human growth hormone. It's not a human growth hormone. And I have tried human growth hormones as well. And I tried human growth hormones when I was absolutely tapped out. So I'd done all these other things, and then I was prescribed legally human growth hormones, which I did for just 3 months. And they are pretty epic and wonderful. I'm not going to lie, that you feel like you're a 25-year-old. It's crazy. Like your body, your mood, your mind, everything, it resets the clock a lot. But they have to be under supervision of an endocrinologist. You cannot just get it. Do not get it on the black market. You have to be screened for cancer. It's really heavy duty, but I had I'd flatlined from adrenal exhaustion. And so it was amazing. So I've tried human growth hormones as well. And anyway, so I take the DHEA, the metformin, I take NAD, and that plus a completely different exercise regime and intermittent fasting, which I do every single day. And I have done for the past 2 years.
And how,
my life.
Hang on. I've got so many questions. So you are still on those, that
DHEA
so
I take DHEA, metformin. So I'll tell you a funny thing about metformin. Dr. Joseph Hakeeg actually has asked me to go off the metformin because he thinks I've lost too much weight from it, because one of the side effects of metformin is that you do lose fat, particularly fat around your belly. And any kind of excess fat. So it's it doesn't work. It's not a diet pill. It does not work fast. It doesn't change your appetite. It doesn't do any of that. It just helps metabolize where you have stored fat.
And particularly over a long period of time.
And for men in particular, it's amazing for that fat around the belly, which is the dangerous fat. So a lot of men will go on the metformin in addition to intermittent fasting to help pretty much save their lives. But Dr. Joseph has asked me, and I've stopped taking it for the past 2 months because he was saying that I'd lost too much weight and I was losing too much weight everywhere. And he thinks it's the metformin. But when I am taking metformin, my skin just glows. You know, it's like taking a million collagen supplements at once. It really is amazing.
Do you believe in collagen supplements?
Yeah, I do. I love it. Collagen supplement. Yeah, I take Swish. I love their products. I love their collagen.
And you take it every day?
I take it every day. Yeah, I think it works.
Okay.
Do you know when I realized it works is when I had COVID, and this is anecdotal evidence. I don't advocate. I'm not a doctor. I'm asked, get medical advice for any of the things that I'm telling you. I am under strict medical advice. I don't do anything without full panel blood works. I get them done every year. I've had DNA testing. I've had stool testing for gut microbiome. I do not.
I'm with you. Yeah. I think you are. If you are an intelligent human living in Australia with the healthcare system that we have afforded to us, you are Jats crackers if you don't do it arm in arm with the doctor. Yeah. Like, we are not doctors for a reason.
Yeah, and
be your doctor.
and your body changes, and it needs to be monitored, and everything changes. So it's so good once you get your dashboard, and I'll tell you what I'm doing about that on Ageless in a second. But once you have a dashboard, everything changes. So back to your question, what works? Understanding your dashboard works. Understanding where you are on your health and well-being journey directly impacts how you look and how you feel. Your sex drive, your hair quality. My hair grows like wildfire. I'm 48 years old. I've got super long hair. It's all mine. It's thick. It's super healthy. And
yeah, it's from looking after yourself. It's
true.
From
looking after yourself. Exactly. And, I've got good nails. My teeth are good because I go to an amazing dentist. Like, all of these things, you have to look after them, and you have to have the best expert that you can afford look after your biggest asset, which is you.
I need to go back to the intermittent fasting. So I know you're now taking those things, and you take them every day, and you take them under supervision. Yeah. But do you do 16-8?
Yeah.
Do you do, what's your version?
I do 16 a.m. Yeah. And I do it every day, including the weekend. And I love it. And it works for me. I weigh about 45 kilos. When I started doing it, I think I was about 51, 52. So on my frame, I've lost a lot of weight if you really think about it. I'm smaller than I was as a teenager. And I was fat as a teenager. I was
we don't use that word.
I was heavier than I am now as a teenager. And Lily doesn't believe it. She goes, Mummy, show me photos. But I was like a lot heavier. I had double D boobs. I was pretty chubby. And but yeah, I weigh about 45 kilos now. And
you're Kylie Minogue. Like that's Bahar.
Yeah, I'm like 5'1".
Tinkerbell. She's Tinkerbell. She's like, she's a mini little pocket rocket.
But I can run now. I can train. I do Barry's. I never exercised in my life before. I'm pretty good. Like I can sprint. I can lift weights. I can do things that my body could never do before. And my mind never thought I could do before. And that's
put that down to the fasting, do you? Do you put that down to that?
To the fasting, to the energy, to the focus on you're never too old. Never. Like under correct supervision, you can learn anything. I could go back to uni and study neuroscience. I can go back, and in fact, I'm thinking of doing a science degree next year. But I could go back and study medicine. You are never too old. We get so many opportunities in our life to reinvent any aspect of ourselves. My favorite saying, my personal mantra is every day is New Year's Day. You don't have to wait for the fireworks or a date on the calendar. Start today. Like everything is possible.
Yeah, you are so inspiring like that. Truly. I wish people could, and that's why it's good you're taping this, because you are so positive, and you're the combination of prepared and positive, which is very unusual. People usually sit around complaining or sit around being a victim, and I've never ever seen that in you, and that's a really, really rare quality. And I think that translates in how you look. And just on what you said in the very beginning about neuroplasticity, for instance, I do a crossword every single morning before I turn even on my cell phone or anything. I do that, and I decided I'm going to learn to play the piano and read music.
And I've watched you play the piano, and I love it so much. It fills me with so much delight and joy to watch you do it, and it's truly inspirational. And when you wear a tutu, I want to wear a tutu.
Oh my God, I'm wearing a tutu now.
Yes,
I actually am. But, I did that because I am a nerd at heart, and I miss studying, and I do very much believe in what you said, which is young brain, young everything. What do you do? What are the things that you have done to fire your brain?
So for me, relaunching my career as a digital expert is like the funniest thing in the world. I studied, I got my MBA in 1995. I was 21. I was very young. And, that was my formal university education, but I always study. I'm always enrolled in something or another. And I've always done that ever since I was young. When I was in high school, I would enroll in TAFE courses and go on a bus to TAFE to study things outside of high school. And I also had a job. When I was at university, doing a BCom and then a master's, I was doing 3 semesters a year because I went to Bond University, and you could do 3 semesters instead of 2 a year. I was also enrolled in an external program on the beauty industry. I was studying the beauty industry separately to my degrees, and I was working. I take digital courses all the time. I'm always enrolled in at least 2 digital courses. I read voraciously on lots of different subjects. I'm going to learn chess this year. My boyfriend's going to teach me how to play chess because I can't play chess. But I've always wanted to, and I want to play with Lily.
Yeah, that's a good one. I just think anything you can do to keep learning is so essential. Okay, so we're fasting, we're exercising, we're using our brain, we're in consultation with the doctor, doing good things for our hormones and really looking after our blood work and getting a good internal snapshot of who we are. what about tweakments, treatments?
All of them.
Let's just start with
do
the surgery
everything.
question.
I love them
Let's
all.
start there. Come on. Okay. Have
So
you
we
ever
start
had
at the face.
surgery?
Should we go face and then work?
Yes. Yes. Yes.
Okay. So these are the things I've tried, and some things I like more than others. So I've tried Botox, I've tried filler, I've tried threads. I've had 2 rhinoplasties. I had my first nose job when I was just before I turned 18. I had a very Iranian nose, which I didn't like. And I had to have a revision for my rhinoplasty when I was 25 because I had the first one too young. Your skull grows, your nose changes, your septum will collapse if you have it too early. So I had a revision rhinoplasty. I've lasered my entire body. I was a very early adopter of lasering. I am a boiled egg. I even had Joe Bailey design a new hairline for me by drawing it on, and I had that lasered. I like.
You also told me recently that Bahar has a red light, an actual.
Oh yeah, I bought an Omnilux machine, I think 7 years ago, the big salon one.
Yes, and she also has the mask.
Oh yeah, I do the mask.
To me that she Omniluxes her entire body, so she'll use the contour mask, and when she says she's a boiled egg, she's a boiled egg.
I am a boiled egg, and I believe like if it's going to work for your face, why wouldn't you put it on your boobs and your vagina and your bum and your knees and arms and hands? Why not? Like one part of my body isn't better than the other.
Yeah, I know. I love it. I love it. It's true.
So yeah, I love LED light therapy. I do. I tell you what I tried recently, which I'm very, very excited about, is a skin remodeling injection. I think it's called Profilo, and it's been available overseas for about 3 years, and it's only just come to Australia, only just been approved. And so it's a biostimulant. So it's not a filler, so it won't change the contours of your face. It will literally redensify your skin, hydrate your skin, boost collagen production. And you have 2. So I had one 3 weeks ago, and I'll have another one. And I am really, really, really happy with the juiciness of my face and my skin. It's lovely. It's like hyaluronic acid on, right under your skin, and it helps.
Is it needled in? Or
5 needles. So it's injected into 5 points on your face.
Oh.
And it works out, with your own rhythm. So yeah, it's pretty good. That was great.
For most people, it's, they haven't even tried Botox or haven't even tried fillers. I know threading is being talked about a lot now. Which of those 3 sort of more mainstream, I guess, pedestrian sort of starter treatments do you think is the best?
I reckon the best thing for you is the thing that you need. So there is nothing more valuable than having a great aesthetic doctor give you a 1-hour consultation, and you will not get there in your first appointment. That's the thing that I would say to everyone. You need a plan. Like everything else in life, you need to have someone who's an expert advise you to do a full audit and analysis of your lifestyle, of your face, of your goals, of your psychology too. How realistic are you? How happy are you with yourself? You can inject the heck out of yourself. But if you don't like yourself, you're always going to still see flaws in yourself. You want to avoid that. So great aesthetic practitioner will have a 1-hour consultation with you, and they will put together a program over a year that will be a combination of aesthetics, laser, injectables if you need them, skincare. Skincare is amazing. You can do so much with skincare. Good skincare is actually a miracle. And I always say, start there.
Totally. I mean, how much better do you feel when you put moisturizer on? I say to women all the time, how about some moisturizer? It's like the most amazing thing.
How about some sunscreen, ladies?
Put moisturizer, it's like, wow, I look a lot better. And it's true. Yeah. Okay, so what wouldn't you do? You have pretty much done,
you know what I'm a bit reluctant to do. I'm scared of eye lifts. I've seen too many bad ones. I'm not scared of a facelift. I would potentially have a mini lift, you know, because I think ultimately a mini lift would look more natural than lots of injectables and fillers and threads and scaffolding. You know, if you need a mini lift, then it could actually save you a lot of time and an unnatural look. There's some incredible work being done in combination with stem cell and skin grafting and fat grafting therapies. So that's kind of the next frontier for surgery. I had an abdominoplasty last year for my stomach separation. And while I was having my stomach separation fixed, my surgeon suggested that we scrape the fat off the back of my skin. I didn't have enough fat to liposuction, but we scraped the fat off the back of my skin of my tummy and injected it into my boobs as stem cells. And we also put in an internal bra, which is like almost like threads that go under your boobs. So that creates a natural scaffolding.
Wow.
That was great. And my boobs
were
great. No, not at all. The abdominoplasty was horrific. It was truly, oh my God. I mean, I had a cesarean and that was nothing. This was something. It took months to recover. It was hectic. But now I'm happy, you know, my abdominal strength is back and my pelvic floor as a result is strong. You know, the knock-ons are great and my tummy looks fabulous. And I mean, I was skinny before, I was fit before, but now it just looks like pretty teenager, which I quite like, which I guess it's not politically correct to say, but you know, I'm talking about my body and it looks like what I looked like when I was young. So I like that. You know, the hard to treat places are intriguing, knees, elbows. I love energy devices. So, you know, Ultherapy, hands. I've had filler in my hands recently. I've had it before.
Yes, I have not had any, I haven't had any filler.
Yeah.
And I'm, you know, I don't think I'm a particularly good candidate for it, which is why, as what you said, is really important. It's like, go and get really good advice. Like,
Get advice.
for me, like I'm genetically, I just hold fluid, you know, in certain parts of my face. And if I went and put filler in my face, it would just like fill up like balloons or whatever. So, and also, you know, I've got enough there.
Yeah, no, you look beautiful. And you understand the structure of your face. It's so smart. So I've had,
but I'm intrigued about this.
Yeah, so it lasts about 4 years. It's pretty amazing. So I've had filler in my hands, but I also put vitamin A on my hands. Wherever I put, you know, if I put something on my face, I'll put it on my hands, I'll put it on my boobs, I'll put it on my tummy, I'll put it on my knees. And people forget that, but skincare should go everywhere that, you know, you want to enhance, restore, keep looking good. And the same goes with sunscreen.
You know what I think is a really good product for that is ceramides.
Yes. Oh my God, I used it when I was pregnant.
Yes, so
I do not have a single stretch mark. I used Elizabeth Arden ceramides.
Yes.
I used it on my boobs and on my hips and on my tummy, and I did not get a single stretch mark.
I think that is really just taking that capsule off and just using them. I mean, it's indulgent, but they really work.
They do work. They do work.
So
in terms of treatments, more treatments, what else have I had? What else I wouldn't have? So, you know, those are my surgeries.
Have you got threads in now?
Yes. So I had threads last year with Dr. Adina at All Saints. She is a queen of thread. So it was a combination of short and long thread. And I think I've got quite a snatch jawline as a result.
You do. You absolutely do. What do you think about Thermage and Ultraformer? And
I love energy-based devices. I love ultrasound and radio frequency. I think they work so well. Some are more painful than others. It is an incremental improvement, but it's a fantastic pre-surgery option. And I would suggest
once a year, I think, you know, and on certain areas, I think on the jawline, it's really
on the jawline, they're amazing. On the hands are amazing. On the knees, I haven't had amazing success yet, but I'm going with it. But yes, it just depends if what your pain threshold is. And I don't think energy-based treatments are as effective once the damage is really set in. I think that if you're in your 30s, 40s, early 50s, you'll get a better result from it. Or if you've got really great skin that you've looked after for years and you're a bit older, but you've got beautiful skin, your skin has to be good before the energy devices show that real magic. But when they work, they really work.
I think it all starts with really good skin. And I think you have to have, and that's from how you're eating, how you're exercising, how you're sleeping, how your hormones are, what skincare you're using, keeping out of the sun, and then things like red light, electrotherapy, the things
and
like
all those biohacking things, oxygen chambers, hyperbaric chambers, cryotherapy, infrared saunas, they're all amazing. I've got an infrared sauna blanket at home.
Same.
Yeah, they're so good. They're so good. And you feel amazing. It's great for detoxification. It's beautiful for your skin. It's fantastic for cellulite. You zip in like a hungry little caterpillar, sweat, sweat, sweat. I put my LED mask on while I'm in there, and off you go.
That's a really good idea. I haven't done the mask in the sauna bag. Genius. I'm going to do that right after this. So you are such a cheerleader for having your hormones sorted, that they are such a game changer for all women, and particularly women in the lane of life that we are in.
I think I'm a cheerleader for having your health dashboard.
Mm-hmm. What is a health dashboard? What's a health dashboard?
Your health dashboard is everything that's going on inside you. I believe that we spend so much time buffing up and fluffing up the outside, what we show to the external world. But, like a car, you need to know what your oil is like, what your water is like, what your wheel tire pressure is, how much fuel you have. And we don't know that without scientific intervention. We have to look within. And I believe that I do believe that the medical system is overwhelmed, and also it's hard to know what to do and what we're looking for. So all the things that I learned that truly transformed my life and continue to inform the decisions that I make for my longevity and lifespan and health span, and you can get in a test.
So that's your health dashboard.
So that's your dashboard.
I do. I need the dashboard. I mean,
your husband needs the dashboard. Your children need the dashboard. We all need a dashboard. We need to know what nutrition works for our body type. We need to know what our DNA is predicting for our well-being and longevity, so we can circumvent potential disaster with epigenetics, which is lifestyle changes that we overlay on our genetics. We need to know how much water is really good for my body, not what Elle Macpherson drinks. We need to know what skincare is actually right for my genetic blueprint. I want to know what's in my gut and why I feel foggy when I eat, mandarins. I want to know how many hours I sleep and whether that's the optimal amount of sleep for my body type. I want to know if I'm a candidate for Parkinson's so that I can play Sudoku now. There's so many things we can know about ourselves. And it's, I know that it feels scary and it feels a little bit big data-ish, and we're afraid to hand over, we think that it's going to go into some nefarious place, but it's actually the best thing we can do for ourselves. I truly believe that. And so with that in mind, that's
you have a big announcement.
I do.
Thank you. It's so exciting. So you are actually launching the Ageless by Rescu virtual clinic.
I am,
which is going to give me a dashboard virtually.
So essentially what I really wanted to do was open a physical clinic, but of course it was during COVID and it takes millions of dollars to set up such a thing, and you couldn't serve anyone outside of, if I opened it, it would probably be in Double Bay. So I thought, okay, my viewers, readers are from everywhere, and I want to serve everyone, not just women, also men and children, whoever is interested in the concept of cellular wellness and cellular vitality. And so in speaking to all the experts that I do on the podcast and the interviews that we've run in the Ageless by Rescu magazine, I decided to bring all the things that are being globally advocated to one place. So it is a virtual clinic that anyone can access, and it's a curation of the best functional tests available in the world today. So DNA testing that comes complete with a telehealth consultation after your DNA swab is taken. And DNA testing is super simple. It's like a little scrape on the side of your mouth. You send it away. They run your DNA test and give you a full breakdown of everything from what vitamins are good for your body, what your predisposition to certain diseases are, what some nutritional information that will blow your mind. You will go, why have I been like randomly dieting or binging or purging? It'll tell you how many cups of coffee are good for your DNA, how many glasses of wine you can metabolize. It is fascinating. It is truly the best thing I've ever done in my life. So I've partnered with an incredible company in Canada called DNA Power, Dr. Lois Naherney, who's been on the podcast before. I think she has the best DNA testing product in the world and is super ethical. But then I've also got all the bloods, hormones testing. So you literally jump on the virtual clinic, you order what tests you want. They'll send you the pathology request forms. You go to a pathology outlet, get your bloods, they send your results to this clinic, and you will get a full report, which you can share with your doctor or have a telehealth consult with. So in addition to that, we have all the other things that make up the Ageless Universe. So skincare, a curation of skincare by category. That part I've done. Every single one of those items is tried and tested. And I think there's 160 by lips, eyes, hands, body, face, neck, day, night, serums, natural, everything. Then I've done a curation of tools and devices, because there are so many awesome gizmos and gadgets for at home, from infrared sauna to LED light therapy to derma rollers, everything in there, a curation. I partnered with a sensuality expert for a pleasure curation, because what is ageless without pleasure? And
I love that you've done that. I think that that's really fantastic. It is truly the whole 360.
Yes. And then what was the other? Oh, of course, supplements. So we've got a really tight curation of incredible supplements that are on the pillars of agelessness. So hair, skin, recovery, performance, endurance, sex and libido, immunity, sleep. And I've partnered with Swish, which is Sally Obermeter and Maha Corbett's company, and the integrity of these women and the incredible formulations of their products is just second to none. And I'm so honored that they agreed to be part of this project. And I also partnered with Jess Seapool and JSS Health, because she has some really innovative formulas that I haven't seen on the market before, and they work, and they have such a lot of beautiful research and development. So those are the only two companies I've partnered with at the moment for the supplements, but they're very, very clear categories. And there's a little smattering of education in there as well, because education is my first love. So 2 of the Rescu Academy courses are in there. One is called Be Your Own Makeup Artist, which is with Nigel Stanislaus, 36 video course to take you everything from choosing your skincare to your makeup, so you can just nail it. It's the best course. It's amazing. And then, of course, we've done a relationship therapy one with Annie Girton, and that is called Reignite Your Relationship, because I believe relationships can be saved.
So this is a store, this is a clinic, this is a university. This is
want it to be, baby.
This is a one-stop ageless shop.
Have you ever had DNA testing?
I've had 23andMe.
Yes.
I've had 23andMe, but it didn't tell me things like how many glasses of wine I should have and stuff.
So
no, I'm really fascinated by that.
You know what I'd like to do for you, if you would like me to do this for you, because we can do this as part of the clinic. we can send your 23andMe DNA test to DNA Power, and they will overlay your 23andMe with all the things that you don't know, like diet, nutrition,
I would love
exercise,
to.
sleep.
I'd
I'm going to
love
do that for you. And then I want you to tell me what you think about having your own dashboard, because honestly, it like, even to the detail of how much salt your body, your DNA is built for. It's fascinating. It is life-changing. I really would. I'd love to gift that to you. I'd love for you to experience that.
Sign me up. I am so excited for you. This feels like such an incredible and important step. I love anything that makes health and information accessible, particularly to regional Australia.
Yes.
You don't have to just be in Sydney.
No.
I love that this is something that
and for the boys too. You
and
know,
the boys.
Men are really reluctant to walk into their doctor's office and ask for a gut microbiome test. They're sure as hell not going to ask for a hormone test. Men don't want to know that their testosterone is low, but most of theirs is. But this is super private, discreet. It's not me getting the information. It's all, you know, it's out of my hands. It's a curation. The story's a curation.
I'm so excited for you. It's just such a, you just never cease to amaze me, because you always have a rabbit in your hat. You always have a new story, a new project, so much energy for just propelling forward. And, you know, you say that your background is business. The next thing for you is going to be doing a how to start a business course, because I have seen you change and do things so many times, and it really could be so inspiring for so many women, just like you are. Looking at you, I mean, I need to go and change everything. Every time I
look at your videos and I get so excited, and I think, you know what, it's so fun. And like you know, I have a daughter, you have 2 daughters. Having young daughters is so inspirational. You know, it makes you feel younger. You listen to new music, you share clothes. You know, on our teams and people we've worked with, you know, there are our mentors from all different ages, and young people who've got so much, you know, zest for life and just at the beginning of their journey. So, you know, we're so lucky. It's actually the best time to be alive. I've never been happier in my life. I feel like the best is yet to come. It's really part 2 of my life. It starts now.
Something that you touched on earlier, which I thought was would be interesting, is you're from Iranian heritage. How does the Iranian beauty stereotype, of which I'm completely ignorant, so I'd love to know what that is, how has that shaped you and affected you in the way that you view yourself?
You know, the interesting thing about my Iranian heritage, so I was born in France, but both my parents are Iranian and from a long line of, you know, Iranians or Persians. And the Iranian beauty philosophy is actually very much inside out. We have like a really deep and rich culture of, believe it or not, biohacking. We have a lot of natural medicines as part of beauty rituals in Iran. So we do a lot of tinctures, a lot of, you know, what I call Iranian potions, but really it's kind of naturopathy based, and also a little bit of Ayurvedic influence. So it always starts from within, and from a really young age, you're very conscious of what agrees with your body, and what's good for your stomach, what's good for your skin, what cools or warms your temperature. Obviously, you know, it's a Middle Eastern culture, so we have a lot of that. The rich history of bathing and hammam is very much part of the Iranian beauty philosophy. So we're really big on scrubbing yourself raw, having clean, soft skin, regenerating your skin, hair removal. So there's a lot of those things that are, you know, really deeply part of the beauty rituals that I still follow, because, you know, you learn at your mother's dressing table, right? Or at your grandmother's, when you listen into your aunts as you're growing up. So for me, those things are really important. And I'm always a big fan of good hair, good brows, good skin. You know, they're the holy trinity for me.
You do well. You do have the best hair and the best skin, the best brows that I know. So, and consistently, that you never look bad.
Do
And
you
I think
know
that's
I had the ugliest hair growing up? My mother used to cut my hair boy short. I had thick, frizzy boy short hair. I looked like a boy for, I reckon when I was, I don't know, very young. And I was always so self-conscious of my awful, awful, awful hair. And it wasn't until I was about 19 that I cracked the code. And when I was 23, I met Joe Bailey. And I walked into his salon all dressed up because I thought it was such a fancy date and an honor to be going in there. And I still go there. And he said to me, I had a bob, and he goes, "You, my darling, look like a pumpkin. We need to grow out your hair, and you're going to have to commit to twice weekly blow dries." And he made my hair my best feature.
Well, I mean, you have now Cindy Crawford hair or Jacqueline Bisset hair, which is like the hair to have. The hair to have.
From experts, and you also learn from your culture and heritage. You know, we're so into K beauty or Scandi beauty and stuff, and it's because those old cultures have wisdom and they've refined the process over the years. And I love meeting people from different cultures and interviewing them or speaking to them and learning from them and appropriating one or two things from each culture. I mean, thank God to whoever invented waxing, and thank God to Cleopatra for the AHAs and BHAs with her milk baths.
Exactly. It's true. It all comes from handed down around the fireplace. It's like little bits of wisdom. I just came back from Morocco and the hammam experience. I think it's more than just what it takes off your skin. It's so vulnerable. It's like going back to the womb, and it's cleansing your mind as it takes off the dirt and the toxins. And there's something about it that is just spiritual and also then just aesthetically because of the combination of it.
And the touch, someone touching you, someone pampering you, someone exfoliating you and then cocooning you in oil and warmth. I mean, that's your sauna therapy there, right there. That's biohacking 101 from the beginning. Let's go back to the source.
Yeah, no, I really, the more that you can experiment with and sort of be open to, I think the better. And you are certainly the captain of that. Follow what you do, and you certainly have a fun time.
I'm having a great time. I'm actually having the time of my life. And I think it's, when I watch you and other people that, we admire and we follow from all over the world in different ages, you can really see the people who are living their best life, for lack of a better expression, because it actually emanates from their pores and that curiosity to, and as you get older, that's kind of one of the privileges, right? Is you don't mind making a fool of yourself or trying things that you may or may not like or be good at.
I think the other thing about you, which is a really good point for your audience, is that you always look like this. I can look better than this, but you consistently put in the effort. You always show up. You always have a lip or an eye. Your hair's done. Your skin's immaculate. Your outfit is gorgeous. You have put a lot of thought and effort. And it's not vanity. Maybe it is, but it never comes across that way. It's just
that's quite Iranian. Like we are a dressed up people. We don't do casual terribly well. We do get our hair done. We do attend to our things. But I also work for Tom Ford, and he invented the term that dressing well is a form of good manners, right? So that we learn from people.
But I think that, and I agree with you, but I do think that it's an effort. I don't think it's just like easy breezy.
Oh no, I am not easy breezy.
To stay looking.
I am a hard show to get on the road.
I think it's hard work, but it's also like consistent hard work. But the payoff is that we had this conversation recently. I was like, I can't actually put your age. I don't know your age. you're younger than me, but you've sort of stuck in time and just this like, I can't even put a figure on you because that's how ageless you are.
Oh, that's so cute.
And
I
that
like being my age.
That
I have no anxiety around being my age, but I will always want to feel 28. Like that's a good place to feel. Like that's, for me, that's like a juicy, like,
you've superseded though a number. It's not even that you go, oh, she's 10 or whatever. You've become an energy. And I think it's because you're consistent in your approach to all of it. And that's a really good lesson for us all.
Well, I want to thank you for that. And I'm going to listen back to that every time I have a blue day, or I think, God damn it, I don't feel 28 today.
You look 28 today, girlfriend.
Oh. Well, thank you so much.
It's been so fun.
So
and
grateful.
I just wish you every success. You deserve all of it. I will tell everybody to check out your new The Ageless by Rescu virtual clinic.
Yes,
it's so
you can just check it out. Yes, absolutely. We'll have all the links. And I'm going to hook you up for your DNA test with DNA Power. You're going to love it.
I am going to love it. I'll do anything you say, basically.
Yeah. Bye.